I don't think there will be a second referendum. I mean, obviously, those who have lost narrowly. The country is divided, and there's obviously going to be a push on in some quarters for that. But the country is not prepared to go through it again. I mean, it's been a legal, an above-board political process, and both sides had to abide by the decision. But that doesn't mean that this isn't going to be incredibly contentious going forward, both within the United Kingdom and vis-a-vis continental Europe, the rest of what will be the EU in a couple of years. So both sides within the UK, and the relationship between the UK and the EU are going to have to basically be adult about this and get the best deal for both sides, recognizing that the breakup is happening and we cannot turn back the clock. Thursday's referendum occurred. Everyone has to respect the result.
What do you think what that's going to mean for the Scottish independence movement? And do you think that this will actually spread to a country like Sweden, which is in the exact same situation as the UK? You're not really in there, you have half a foot in the EU itself.
On the Scottish front, this is very good news for Scottish independence. Scotland obviously voted to remain. The government in Scotland is quite open about the fact that they will look for the first opportunity when they think another referendum will get them the vote they want for independence, and then they can break away from the rest of the UK and remain or rejoin the EU. I think that is likely, and it is obviously going to make the whole negotiation that much more contentious, that much more difficult, but it is a reality we all have to come to terms with. In terms of Sweden and other EU countries, I think Sweden is a possibility. I think the Netherlands is the most likely to go, or at least to hold a referendum. I think the Hungarians may do something along the same lines. And it's even possible we could have an outlier, or somewhat of an outlier, like a Greece, or farther afield, even perhaps a Spain. So I think there will be strong pressure for referendums in other EU countries. They may be successful in one or two or possibly three. So the breakup of the EU may not end with the UK. It may actually spread to some of the continental partners.
And if that's the case, then do you think that some of the core countries within the EU right now are likely to be a lot more harsh on immigrants coming into the EU itself, given the fact that this referendum was all about stopping immigration flowing coming into the UK?
I think that's very likely indeed. The politicians, they may not agree with the anti-migrant or anti-immigration position, obviously, but they recognize that their own political survival and the ability of their countries to remain within the EU may be dependent upon being tougher on immigration, or at least appearing to be tougher on immigration.